Hi, you are watching Over the Back Fence, a conversation among neighbors. This is a production of Neighborhood Falmouth. I'm Susan Laux, and with us today are Marion Bihari, Mike Bihari, Mary Pat McKenzie, and our special guest, Kevin Neidiger. And one of the particular reasons we're joining together today is to introduce our Falmouth audience to Kevin, who is a brand new employee of Neighborhood Falmouth. He is the manager of operations, on the job for 2 weeks now, and doing a cracker job. So anyways, we thought this would be a great opportunity to get to know a little bit more about Kevin and start the conversation. So I am curious, Kevin, where you are from. Where'd you grow up?
I am originally from Glen Rock, New Jersey, which is located in Bergen County, and moved in sixth grade to Ridgewood, which was the neighboring town, and was able to maintain my education at St. Catherine's Elementary School in Glen Rock until eighth grade.
Yeah. And so, Mike, you know something about this area?
Well, I worked for I lived in New York. I worked for a number of years in New Jersey. And one of the physician practices that I was involved with was in Glen Rock.
Oh my gosh.
But it was probably after you left, Kevin.
And where in Glen Rock? Now I'm
Well, I'm going back to the 1990s. So
okay.
All I remember was in Glen Rock. I was working, I had one job where I worked in Kenilworth, another job where I worked in Hawthorne, and then a job in Bedminster.
Nice to ring a bell with you.
I guess
Whoops.
our phones aren't working, Susan.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, can we pause it? Okay. And Mary Pat, you're a New Jersey person.
Yes, 20 years in New Jersey, in Hunterdon County. But my garden club, we had a lot of people from Ridgewood. I mean, not at the Garden Club of New Jersey, which I was on the board for. We had a lot of Ridgewood Garden Club people.
Excellent. And you have told me in the past that that like the best tomatoes in the country or something are from New Jersey.
Oh,
is that right?
The soil in New Jersey. Oh, yes. They are the best tomatoes anywhere. And I don't know, Kevin, I could share them with you next year. I'm going to go to a friend's house, dig up some soil, bring it in pots to Cape Cod, and get tomatoes that are started there and see how we do.
In spite of New Jersey's reputation and the famous odor of northern New Jersey, it's known as the Garden State.
It is. That's what's on the license plate.
Right.
But why do you say that about the odor? Because it's like cow manure or something?
Oh, no. The northern part, a big chunk of it was swamps, and the highways went right through the swamps. So if you were driving from New York to anywhere south or to Pennsylvania, you went through this area that smelled. And it was also filled with oil refineries. Oh. But it got cleaned up.
It's not like that now.
No. That's from my childhood.
So Kevin, how did you, what happened next? How did you, like, you went to college, how'd you end up on the Cape? And tell us, sort of get us caught up around here.
Sure. So I wound up on the Cape back in 2003. My girlfriend at the time, potentially fiance, her family used to vacation down here in and I accompanied them for one of the 2 or 3 weeks that they were actually renting a house. And when I first got to Falmouth, I was like, I'm not quite sure what's the big draw here. And then eventually I fell in love with Falmouth, and we were leaving a rental property, and I was packing up the car and the kids, and I had Connor in my arms. He's my son, who is now a sophomore at Emerson College. My daughter Kate is a senior at Providence College. So I had Connor in my arm, and there was an older gentleman at the fence, and he introduced himself, and he was telling me we were going to sell our place. And I was like, oh gosh, after we had spent just a fun week down here, I said, well, how much are you selling it for? And he says, well, I'm selling it for this. And I said, well, I think we might be interested in buying this from you. And literally later on that evening, we were faxing papers and working with realtors, and we owned a house over on Little Rock Avenue that evening, and we became residents of Falmouth in 2003. Just recently in February, our primary house address was in Raynham, Massachusetts. And when the children left, it left us with a lot of extra space. And we decided to become full-time Falmouth residents in February of last year, and have never looked back. And it's been just a wonderful experience being a Falmouth resident full-time.
Wow.
That's a great story.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
This program is called Over the Back Fence, and so basically over the side fence, you
Right.
got yourself a house. That's
I
great.
figured I'd get that in there, Susan. Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I like how you kind of made the connection there. That's a good. And did you actually walk through the house that, like right while you were talking to him with baby in arms and say like, yeah, let me check it out?
It was great question. Everyone else was kind of running around, and of course it was probably 10:30 on a Saturday, and everybody else who was leaving from that week was getting together, and our family was running around. So Connor and I walked around the fence, and Charlie Gill was his name. He walked us through the house, and I met his wife, and we just kind of built an instant relationship there. And like I said, I got back and I was in Dighton, I believe, and I was faxing closing papers, and we were done that evening. It was just remarkable how quickly it happened.
Wow.
I love it. I love
Boy,
it.
there are a lot of people who are jealous if they're listening to this, considering what the real estate market is like
Yes.
right now.
Exactly.
I mean, last year, it started last year, but it's quite a story.
I love that. Yeah, that reminds me.
It's all about timing, Marion, isn't
Yeah.
it? Everything's about timing.
Right place at the right time.
Right.
That's right.
Oh my gosh. Now, and so you've been here for a year almost full time? And so what do you like best? Like what have you gotten yourself into besides neighborhood Falmouth?
Besides neighborhood Falmouth, I love to play golf, and there's a lot of places to do that down here. I used to be an avid golfer until Connor and Kate showed up, and then golf kind of went away for a while. But really, one of the most relaxing events that I've noticed here at Falmouth is just able to walk around, whether it's with the dog or not. Over the weekend, I will walk the woods hole and back. I just find it just relaxing, put the headphones on. The views are beautiful. The weather is perfect in the summertime, and I still do it in the wintertime as well, but there's nothing like a walk in Falmouth.
Right.
Nice. Who else has questions? Who else wonders about anything?
So what did your kids think when you said, well, that's it, we're giving up the other house, and do you still have room for them to visit if you downsized early?
Well, we went from 2,600 square feet to 1,200 square feet, so it was an adjustment, Mary Pat.
Yeah.
At first, was not well received. Home was Raynham to the children, and
Yeah.
they had a little bit more space. We all had more space, and we figured while they were off at college and hopefully getting a job and living in Boston or somewhere on the outskirts of Boston or any other major metropolitan area, that they probably wouldn't come home that much. But you know what we found out as kids, they wanted to spend as much time as possible with their friends. So that was kind of, Falmouth was kind of not on their radar when we were coming down in the summertime, but they love it as well.
Yeah.
And they've come to find it's similar to what Carolyn, my wife, and I find in it. It's a relaxing place, and it's a more relaxed kind of environment. So we all love it today.
Good. And they will eventually come home with more people with them. So be ready.
You know, Connor's coming home this evening. I'm gonna meet him at the Bourne Bridge today, or in Middleborough. Pick him up at the train. He's coming back for the weekend, even this weekend. So we're seeing more of him, even when we were in Raynham. So
And he'll be bringing his laundry, right? Yeah, bringing his laundry when he comes.
Laundry.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's always in tow, Mary Pat. Yes.
Hope you have an extra shovel for him.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that.
Yeah, big storm coming this weekend. Big storm.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, theoretically, when we're airing this, probably the storm will have come and gone, and we'll know how we all did without power for a couple of days.
Right, right.
Right.
Have you been through one of those yet, Kevin, here in Falmouth when the power goes out and it's cold?
Yes, we have, as a matter of fact. In fact, this morning at about 7:45, the power went out.
Right. There are about
So,
2,500 people out, yeah. I'm sorry.
Exactly.
Well, and
Exactly.
I have to
So-
say, I'm getting to know Kevin a little bit as we've been working side by side doing the job handoff. And it's been kind of cold these last few days. And I, come in and I've got, 3 pairs of long underwear on, and I've got a down coat on, and a yada yada, and a hat, and a blah blah blah, the whole thing. And Kevin's got like a light rain jacket on, and he's like, and I'm, Kevin, where's your coat? It doesn't bother me at all. So I like this weather. I'm perfect for me. So go figure. Takes all kinds, right?
Love the cold weather. Love the cold weather.
So I actually
So
have
you
And that's
must
really
have-
what Falmouth. That's really what Falmouth offers. I mean, it is a 4-season destination that you get them all. What's new to us, at least being in Falmouth through the winter, is never spending a winter here before, and it is a different place. And it's even more quiet and more relaxing because you gear up for the summer, and things slow down a little bit. The pace, or at least slows up a little bit, and it's just another beautiful side of Falmouth in the wintertime.
You don't get stuck in a traffic jam on Main Street.
You won't. That's correct.
not yet. So, so this is a real leading question for you. What do you like about neighborhood Falmouth so far?
Well, I enjoy working with you and John and getting to meet the board members, and really what it is, it's about giving back. And for years my work life has been involved in moving to Boston and traveling to different client locations, and really just the pace of IT consulting, which is in my background, as well as working for law firms in the IT space with a kind of a user experience undertone that, really kept you going almost 24 hours a day. And you watch the news and you see certain heroes and people doing things that you really kind of open your eyes and scratch your head and say, well, that seems really worthwhile. Carolyn, my wife, is a bilingual special ed teacher in Raynham, and we have a number of family members who are also nurses and nurses and being first responders. And it really, when I moved down here, I was still commuting to Boston, which was fun, 4 hours a day. But it was really about, it dawned on me, giving back, really following through on the mission, doing something that mattered. And it was, you know what, I came across the opportunity when I saw an ad in the paper, Susan, and I sent you, I think, a quick email, and you responded back, and I was like, this is perfect for me. I don't have to leave the cave, which I love, and it's doing something that's just something that would make a difference. And Neighborhood Falmouth is certainly doing all of those things I was looking to incorporate myself in.
Great. Well, that's just great. So I think that we are pretty close to the end. Do you think you found all the info that we can get out of Kevin right now? Anybody have any last questions?
Oops, we just lost him.
I know it's kind of a busy office here.
I'm sorry, Lee's picking up her Valentine. So.
Nice,
Oh, okay.
nice.
Well, Kevin, I'm glad we were able to do this because I didn't know you.
Yeah.
And I have some insight now in who you are. And we are delighted that you're with us. And being a board member, it's been hard because we haven't had a lot of in-person kinds of meetings, but this really was quite nice. And I welcome you to our wonderful organization.
No, you know what, when I had gotten the word from John that I had gotten the job, it was literally less than 12 hours. Michael had sent a quick email over to me, welcoming me and making me feel very welcome. And the board has done that as well. And all my interactions with everybody involved with Neighborhood Falmouth have been just delightful, and it's the right move. So thank you for making me feel welcome. But you know what, I must admit, I do moonlight on the side. So I hope that during football
Yeah.
Sundays,
Tell about this. This is kind of crazy. I love this.
So I've been doing this for about 13 years, and I forget exactly how I got involved with it, but I work for CBS Sports on the weekends. And really what I am is I'm a contractor for CBS Sports up at Gillette Stadium. And what I do specifically is called First and 10. And First and 10 is a function where I'm actually in the booth spotting the football game. So you see those lines on your broadcast on the Patriot game where the line of scrimmage is and where the first down is. I'm dialing those up and putting those on the field. So,
Oh, wow.
Really?
Isn't that cool?
Oh, that's terrific.
Like I never even thought of like who does that, or there's
Yeah.
someone who does that. But
Now
So
we know.
Kevin, not being a football fan, is it the same technique they use for the America's sailing races?
it's the same technology. It's on the same platform, Mary Pat. It's a great question. And originally, this was an idea that started, I think, in pro sports anyway, not with hockey. And it started with the puck and moving around, and it changed colors, and it didn't really work for hockey. And originally, CBS was not interested in using the technology. And eventually they saw the light. Now everybody's using it, and there's this overlay on football fields that now include downs and yardage and color schemes and all that other good stuff. But it's really, I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of tremendous people at CBS as well over the 13 or so years. And like I said, I'm in the booth, so I'm literally standing right next to Tony Romo and Jim Nantz when they're in the stadium broadcasting the game, and the rest of the crew there. So
how fun is that?
Evan, how did you get involved in that?
You know what? I had my brother worked for the Patriots, and it's a real close circle there. So CBS and the Patriots. I remember my brother-in-law saying they're looking for somebody at CBS to be a runner. And really, what did that mean? That meant on Saturdays and Sundays, I just ran and got things for people. It gave me access to the field. It was a very cool environment, locker rooms, all the back end going on at a football game. And eventually I graduated to 1st and 10 and they put me in the booth. And the last game I did was the Jaguar game, which was the Patriots' last home game where it ended well. But it's been a delight working for them as well. And
Wow.
you get to see a lot of the back end operations, which
Mm.
has always been of interest to me.
That is so cool. That is so
Yeah.
fun. Now I wonder how we can translate that for use at Neighborhood Falmouth. Like, we have.
Oh, for the parade, we can have lines that show us how we've walked in the Christmas
Parade.
that pop up on FCTV.
Maybe we have a
Perfect.
members and volunteers foot race or something. And then, when the filming is, you would have the lines, or I don't know. We'll work on that. We'll work on that. Oh my gosh. Well,
We may need a drone for that.
Yeah, that's a good
That's
idea.
a good point.
We have one in the garage. I don't know if it can be
Okay.
adapted.
Mary Pat has everything in her garage.
Yes,
So
I do.
if you need
Including
anything, you
snakes
just
and
ask.
bats and otters.
Everything, snakes, everything.
It's a little odd.
So we will do an entire future episode on Mary Pat's garage at some
Right.
point.
God.
But
Oh, you mentioned a drone. I was thinking we could get Neighborhood Falmouth drones and deliver things to our members.
exactly. We'll become a subsidiary of Amazon or something.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So you have been watching Over the Back Fence, a conversation among neighbors. This is a production of Neighborhood Falmouth. We're delighted you joined us today. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Falmouth.